a very, very important victory against the religious fight that pushes back against some Obamacare provisions. Occupy Democrats has a great article outlining how the religious birth control exception that has been asked for by any number of organizations has been thrown out by a court. The Affordable Care Act was issued of this victory on September 17th, as written on Occupy Democrats. A privately owned manufacturing company called AutoCam Corporation and AutoCam Medical was told they are going to have to abide by that provision in the Affordable Care Act, which requires employers who have over 50 employees to provide health insurance that includes no cost, no copay birth control coverage. The Michigan-based for-profit AutoCam is owned by John Kennedy, who's a Roman Catholic. They manufacture fuel systems, medical devices, a bunch of other items for vehicles, and they put in a bid with the federal court for a temporary injunction so that they could, for religious reasons, stop providing no copay birth control to their employees through their health insurance. The request was denied by the federal court. This is the right decision. It was later upheld by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit. They found that AutoCam Corporation is simply not entitled to an exemption from the contraceptive mandate. They said that a for-profit company is not a person, and therefore it is not a person that can exercise religion under the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. This is a really good thing because this birth control thing that's happening around Obamacare is a complete ruse. Birth control was not really much of an issue until President Obama came along. At least it was an issue in the context of social conservatism, but it was not an issue in the context of health insurance in the same way that it is now, because the government was perceived to have a much smaller role in health insurance. Although remember, Lewis, we're still talking about for-profit health insurance companies actually providing the care, which confirms to me this is about President Obama. Somewhere between paying a copay for birth control and not paying a copay for birth control, religious liberty became an issue. Go figure.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. And just from a conservative point of view, which I'm guessing the vast majority of these companies who oppose this are, they would assume that not having to give out the birth control might, in theory, in the end, end up costing these companies more money. But
of course, think about if even if your company has just a small amount of individuals who, by not getting the birth control with no copay, end up not having birth control at all. They get pregnant. Think about the productivity think about how your productivity is going to change if you now start having maternity leave, if your health insurance, if the insurance now is covering a delivery. It is not the fiscally conservative thing by any means. This is absolutely the right decision by the court, and I'm glad that it was made this way.